Yo, what's going on, guys? It's G Miners here, and in this video, I'm going to be going over slipskating, which seems like an impossibly difficult movement tech. I mean, you're well skating off your sparrow right after slipping. It seems crazy, but it's honestly not that bad, and I'm going to be breaking it down step by step to make it as easy as possible to understand. First things first, you do need to know how to Wellskate and or shatterskate. It's easy. There's only 3 simple inputs. A guide will be up in the top right hand corner if that's what you need. And then second to that, which is the harder of the two, you do need to know how to infinite slip, aka open slip. I also have a very simple guide to follow, which will also be up in the top right hand corner right now. So check those out if you guys want to learn each tech. Slipskating, as it says in the name, very simply just combines the two of these so that you can slipstream, hop off your sparrow, and then instantly skate off of it and go zooming. Now you might be asking, gee, why should I learn this and where is it even useful? Okay, for step number 1, you're just doing a normal slipstream like you usually do it. I do this with the boost on and then cut the boost at the very end, but all you're doing is your like 4 or 5 sets right there. And at the very end, you're just going to be hopping off your sparrow and skating. So just do 1 set of inputs and that's literally it. I will also mention sometimes the boost right there, when you do hop off, it can kill you doing slip skates. So if you want, you can do something like this, where you just do 2 sparrow flies into your slower form of slip. Do the exact same thing, it's just not boosted. This is a lot better too, because as you can see, you can hop off your sparrow and then keep going straight into slips. So if you messed up the slip skate, you can just kind of recover in air and keep practicing over and over again. For step number 2, I want to cover a couple of things here, so bear with me. But for step number 2, all we're really concerned about is exiting our sparrow with the proper rotation, the proper speed, things like that, so that we end up on top of the sparrow and we can go straight into our shatterskate or our Wellskate. A couple of people have told me that you want to try learning slip flicks before you actually slip skate. I'm going to show an example of a slip flick on screen right now, and then alongside that, a regular sparrow flick. With a regular sparrow flick, you're just turning your sparrow and launching your player model forward, and then the same logic happens with a slip flick, but instead you're just doing it at the end of a slipstream. So you can get some momentum doing both a regular flick and a slip flick. And for that reason, people have said that you want to learn how to do that so you can set up your sparrow properly and then just add the skating inputs after that so that you can go straight into slip skating. That being said, I've tried to learn slip flicks. They never came out consistent for me. And then when I just said, screw it, I'm going to just go ahead and learn the slip skating as is, I was able to get that done in a few tries. It took me like maybe a few hours to get it half consistently, and I've been practicing it ever since. So in my opinion, I don't think you should really be learning slip flicks. That being said, I don't know if doing a proper slip flick before a slip skate adds a ton of momentum to the skate itself. I don't have enough knowledge with sparrow techs to know if that's true or not. If somebody does have that knowledge, comment that down below. But in my opinion, this is a way more consistent thing to do. I don't think you should really spend time learning the sparrow flick or the slip flick for that matter. And so I just wanted to cover that so that people were aware. With some of that out of the way, this next part, as I mentioned, comes down to dismounting your sparrow properly so that you can set yourself up for that skate. So to do this, we have 3 inputs we need to do, all of which happen after our last dodge input for that slip. First things first, you're going to be holding down on S to kind of pull your sparrow back, or just back on your analog stick if you're on controller. Second to that, look up to the right a bit. You need to feel this one out. Obviously, just don't flick super hard back or vertical, because that's going to mess up your actual like sparrow rotation and whatnot. And then the third and final thing is just dismounting your sparrow with a jump input, spacebar. You're going to see that I have mine set to scroll wheel down because I just use that as a jump keybind as well. I found that was easier for me to use while doing slip skates. So if you see scroll wheel down, that's me dismounting. All in all, it is something you have to feel out with the timing and where you're looking, but you're going to see I just hold down S, look up, and then hit my scroll wheel to dismount my sparrow. Then finally, for the last part of slip skates, you're just skating off your sparrow shortly after you dismount it. You don't want to do it right after, because there's a period of time, I think, when you're technically in the air. So you want to wait like a few frames, like almost like a few milliseconds. Just don't mash it, because you need to have the game register your feet actually hitting the sparrow. Otherwise, you're just going to like heavy attack in mid-air. That being said, I also like to practice on Hunter, because if you do mess up, you can 3-orb and plant your staff or your Well of Radiance on your sparrow mid-air, and then you're just going to need to keep going around and rallying. So practicing on Hunter is better in my opinion for that reason. And then lastly, when you get on your sparrow, make sure you're holding your sword out, because as you're going to see when I dismount, my sword is out, Eager's instantly procced, and I don't have to pull the sword out and have an extra input, which delays me from skating. Assuming that you guys know how to skate and slip proficiently already, this really just comes down to the dismount muscle memory, getting that down, getting the timing right, and then skating off of it. That's pretty much it. That's all you do for the tech. And then after that, you can start doing it on Warlock. You can start doing it with like chaining slips back and forth together and things like that. The reason that I covered this tech right here to kind of like reset your sparrow so that you can go straight into slipping is because it makes it so much more consistent if you want to get good practice at the timing for the dismount. So then right here, rather than just like waiting to die, I can resummon my sparrow, go straight back into it, and then hopefully have my sword out and go into the next skate. There, somehow I guess I just didn't even have eager. But you get the point. You can practice the dismount, practice everything that goes into the skate other than actually having like the extra momentum from the boosted slip. I hopped over on Warlock just to show this off with Wellskates. Also, didn't mention this earlier, Enhance Eager Edge, make sure you have it. That's going to make your skates go further because it's registered as a ground swing, which is what increases the lunge distance for Enhance Eager Edge. And then because we're on lock, we do also want Heat Rises and a grenade that we can consume. And you go flying with this and just cover a large distance just by spamming your burst glide. Only major difference is that we are well skating like that. And then we can pop something like Heat Rises. And we just want to maintain our height. And you can go flying with this. That is it for the slip skating tech. Definitely the coolest tech that I've learned so far. It's super flashy. It looks insane. But once you get it down, you realize it's actually quite simple to do. If there are any Sparrow PhDs out there who have been doing this tech for a while, please correct me in the comments down below and I'll pin it. If you do get a noticeable increase in your speed from properly doing a slip flick into the slip skate. Either way though, just doing the slip skate as I showed in this video is good enough in my opinion. Also, please let me know if this video does help you out. Hearing that these guides do help people learn techs makes my day, and there really aren't any guides on YouTube for how to do this, which is weird because it's actually not too hard to do once you know how to slip, obviously. Drop a sub and a like if you have a juicy taint. Peace.